Good evening, Facebook family.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to Couples Coaching 101. And tonight we have part 2 of Next Level 2.0, taking your relationship to the next level. So first off, getting started. Hello, Ms. Haynes. Good evening, everyone, again. We're going to get started with our information about what we're doing. This is a public forum. Want to make sure I give that disclaimer that this is a public forum. So anything that you share in the comment section is public information. We do want you, however, to share, post, and pass this video on to other people. Don't make any judgments as to whether or not you think they need or would like what's being said, heard here on our show tonight, but please do share it with others. And if you have a personal matter that you would like for us to discuss with you or address with you, please send an email to lifewithoutlimitscc@gmail.com.
So last week we had, what was our tablet last week?
So last week's tablet was, I want to make sure I do that. What is something that you can relinquish control over that that you've been holding on to? Your partner is better at it, and you know they're really better at it, but for some reason you have control of it. So we wanted you to relinquish control over whatever that was to your partner, so that your partner can thrive in that area and that you both will reap the benefits of their gift in that area. So I don't know if anybody want to post in their comments or anything about what maybe they relinquished, but at least if you thought about it, did it, and came to some agreement on some things, that's positive and that's some movement in your relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's good. So this week, it's just a continuation of last week. A lot of times when we put these lessons together, we don't have a lot of time, and usually we run out of time because we like the videos to be not too long, but not too short too. So roughly around 20 minutes is just absolutely wonderful, I think. And so some of the points from last week, go over some of the points from last week, just to highlight the main ones.
So one of the things that we did do, we did say why we do this program and why we wanted to do this program. So we kind of reiterated that for anyone that may be new watching, or this video being shared with you for the first time, that we've coached couples in the past, and we've been married ourselves for over 25 years, and we've received a lot of feedback from other people that has shared with us things that they like. We're funny, we're goofy, and at the same time we do act like we're married when we're out in public. We show affection towards each other, etc. So we went over that a little bit. And then the other thing that we highlighted last week was to commit to the process. And we talked about what does it mean to commit to the process of being in a relationship. And then we spent some time talking about submitting and what does submission look like and how you both benefit from submission. Because oftentimes submission is viewed as a negative word, but submission is a very powerful word. And so we talked about that a little bit last week. So this week we're diving in with the part 2 of that, and we will finish up with the I think 3 more additional main points to taking your relationship to the next level 2.0. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And so the next point is, and you may laugh, and a lot of this stuff is easy to do and easy not to do. And sometimes you just need to be reminded. And that's really what a lot of this is. A lot of this stuff, a lot of people know already. And it's just a matter of being reminded. So the next point is to smile, is to act like you're happy. And so sometimes we get so accustomed to holding back a compliment, holding back saying something that may benefit someone else because for the sake of time, for the sake of minimizing the impact that compliment will have, or what that gesture may do for that other person. And it sounds kind of funny, but I think habits are habits. And sometimes if the habit is there, then it's just a matter of making a conscious decision, to smile, making a conscious decision to treat your partner. Remember what it was like when you guys were in a new relationship and you both were really trying to impress one another?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, going back to that, where you listen to what she had to say, and where you built up his ego and made him feel special. Well, those are the same things now that's going to work in your relationship. They worked back when you were courting, they worked back when you first met, and they work now. Greet your partner as they come through the door. Yeah. That's a big one. If I'm sitting in there watching television, hey, shame on me if I don't get up and Ashima comes in and I don't greet her. Okay? Because it really kind of sets the temperature of how things are going to flow in the house.
And it shows appreciation, and that I have you on my mind enough that I would get up out of my seat and greet you as you come home. That's just a really sweet gesture that I could see how it's very easy for that to be taken for granted, in years of being in a relationship together, years of marriage. It's like you heard the garage open, you heard the door open, you heard the keys in the bag drop down in the bowl or wherever it is on the bench, like for us, and, in the bench coming through the garage door, the back door. So you heard all these things in these steps, so the person is in the house, and you ain't moved to say, hey, how was your day? I love you. It's so good to see you. I'm glad you made it home safely. Oh, I heard the traffic was a bear. So those little things like that really go a long way in terms of showing appreciation.
As well as, being out, when you're out in public, holding hands. And so, opening up the door for your partner, making them feel special. Open up the passenger side door for them, because it shows, not only does it make them feel special, but it shows the world how much you appreciate your partner. And those are a lot of the little things that sometimes kind of gets away from us.
And I want to say one more thing about that, and it wasn't a note that that I had down that I was going to say, but sometimes I think about more things as we're talking it out loud. And that is when you said about opening the door, that chivalry is not dead. I think sometimes it gets lost that women of today, because we work jobs, we have careers, and that we're independent, that we don't want our men to be men to us. And that's just not true. So I want to bust that myth right out the window, that we like when you open the door for us. I know sometimes I still stand on the wrong side of the door when George is trying to open it. I forget. But I still like the fact that you're opening the door for me, that you're grabbing my hand, that sort of thing. So we as women, we do like that, from our man.
And as well as when we do it, please comment and affirm it. Oh, thank you, honey. So make sure you're appreciating, your guy when he is doing those things. Because that's important too, because you're going to get more of what you affirm.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. And so I have on here, work to get along as hard at home as you do at work. And a lot of times at work, we will sidestep, we will hold our tongue, we will do all these things to get along at work. Well, those things are required at home too. Okay, so make sure you're sidestepping, make sure you're working, and you're going that extra mile, you're going that extra distance to get along at home.
Absolutely, absolutely, because at home is where it really counts. And I know a lot of times we may place more of a value on workplace relationships because that's where we may get a paycheck from, or it may be work that we really enjoy doing, and it's just some people in the office or whatever where you really may not enjoy so much. And we, like he said, we do all the things to make those relationships work, even though they may not be necessarily in line with our personal value system and who we would consider friends. But the relationships that really works, where we really should be putting more energy into, is those ones at home. And I know that's something I have to remind myself sometimes after a long day. I'm tired, and it's like I had this face on all day, but I'm really tired. I'm not feeling well, and now I'm irritable, and I just want to show it. Well, why would I show that to the people that I love when I just didn't show it to people that maybe I don't love so much throughout the workday?
Right. And
I hope that don't sound too negative.
Yeah, but and I know you may be saying, well, when I'm at home, I can be myself. I can let myself go. I can express how I feel and with all the emotions and emphasis that I want to because I'm at home.
Right.
And I should be able to do that at home.
Yes and no. Because if you do something out of irritation and just out of emotion, more than likely you're going to say it in a way that you don't want to say it. It's going to come across in a way that you probably didn't mean for it to be. It's going to be meaner. It's going to hurt. And you're hurting the ones that you love. And we used to say sticks and stones don't hurt my bones. Well, it may not hurt your bones, but emotional scars last forever. And you don't want to, hurt your spouse, your children. Your children are seeing this. They're watching it. If it's not directed towards them, they are seeing it. They're watching it, and they learn. And they do that from the age of being toddlers. They already know the parents' personalities. They know your body language, and they know what this means. Even if they don't know the words, they know the tone of words. So it is really important. And I know we got to move on because we're not going to get through our next couple of things.
Yeah. So, and the next point is appreciate the best in the other person. And, identify 3 things that you appreciate about the other person that's not involving what they do for you, which is really could be kind of challenging because usually when we say I love you, it's, well, I love you because of,
right,
and you make me feel, and you do this for me. Right.
And it has to be independent of what they do for you. What is it about that person that you appreciate about them? Is it, they have a good heart, or they're always so giving of themselves. That's not necessarily directly, related to you. That's a way that you can really see what it is in the other person that you love. And figure out what it is that you appreciate about them.
Okay, so I want to go through some things to quit doing, and that's quit talking negative. I have quit talking about the negative in your partner. Sometimes we can, and let me give you a rule of thumb. Rule of thumb for me is if something is difficult for me to say, then it probably needs to be said. If something is easy for me to say, then it probably doesn't need to be said. Because if it's easy to be said, then that's probably for me. And that's going to get something off of my chest. Right. Well, yeah, I got it off my chest, but how did that work in helping the situation? Right. How did that work in making that situation better? How did I improve that situation?
Right. Probably didn't improve it. That's the whole thing. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it had to do with when you have to preface what you're about to say to someone, like, don't take this the wrong way, but, or I don't mean to be offensive, or I don't mean to offend you, but I don't mean to rain on your parade, but, well, if you have to preface it, it's not the right time, and you probably shouldn't say what you need to say, what you think you need to say right at that time.
Yeah.
And I want to say something else about talking negative about your partner, because basically our words have life, and we know that there's power in the tongue. And there's a reason why we were given one tongue, two ears, one mouth. So when we say negative things, we give life to that negative thing. We put it out there in the atmosphere, and once you put it out there, you can't really take it back. You can try to dilute it with something positive, and I encourage you to do that right away. So if you do say something bad, you need to, like, 10 times say something positive to dilute what you just said, to just try to kill that energy. I do believe in energy and things that we say, because they do hold power. So just remember to be careful to speak the things that you want, and to have faith, and to speak the things that are not as if you would like them to be.
And that's isn't that a scripture?
There is. We walk by faith and not by sight.
Right, and speak those things that are not
as
if they were.
Absolutely.
And so you really, and that's a whole polar thing. And when I say polar, I mean North Pole, South Pole. And what you focus on is what you get. So if you focus on all the things that you don't like in your partner, right, then you're going to get more of those things.
More of the same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and here's another one. Don't talk negatively about your partner to your family and your friends. Okay?
You gotta say that again.
Okay. I'm going to read it because I got it here. So don't talk negative about your partner to your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because, quite frankly, they don't want to hear it, and they're probably tired of it, to be honest with you. And they probably see you coming. Oh, here she go. Every time here he come, he always complain about his wife. Okay? He's always got something. And it makes people uncomfortable. To be quite honest with you. And I'm going to tell you something else, too, that I've learned. You can say something negative about your partner to your family, and your family will be mad at your partner. And you won't know why.
Right. You've forgotten about it. You've moved on or whatever, and they're still holding that because they love you. And not only that, they want to protect you. So, in their way of protection, it's like, oh, they mad at what you said or did, that made you so upset that you've moved on from. And now you don't know why they giving your husband a side eye at the cookout, or vice versa. But that's probably why. That could be one reason why. Let me just say it that way. That could be, one reason why with your friends and family. And then the other thing, Jordan, one of the notes is you spilling all the negative juice that probably will get better in time if you communicate with your partner and you both agree that you want to work on it. But while you're spilling the negative juice, guess what? Somebody else is looking at where they can sneak in at. So maybe they know, maybe they like your husband, maybe they like your wife, they like your partner. And maybe they're like, oh, okay, so she don't do that. Well, I do. X, Y, Z, whatever that may be, fill in the blanks. But you don't want your personal weaknesses and areas where there may need to be some more strength built up. You don't want that out there for anybody to know. We all have things that we're working on. We all have cracks. But it's nothing that is anybody's business, particularly if you're working on it. Now, I'm not saying that if you have a confidant or somebody that you can talk to that's non-judgmental, that you can bounce ideas off of, that's different. That's not what we're talking about. I'm just talking about this general idle talk that we find ourselves in with our friends and our family.
Right. And just remember, you have a good hand, and you've got a good partner. And the reason why I know they're good, because you chose them. And no one knows what's best for you other than you. So usually we're spot on when we choose a partner. But just remember, while you're publicly complaining about that partner, just remember how people are, okay? The guy that's walking wish he could ride the bus. And he's looking at the guy on the bus and he's saying, boy, I wish I had enough money for bus fare. And the guy that's on the bus wish he had a bike He said, boy, I sure wish I had a bike. Man, look at the guys on the bike, they just riding right past the bus. And then the guy on the bike is saying, boy, I sure wish I had a car. Man, look at that guy in the car, man. They just zooming right past me. And the guy with the car is saying, boy, I sure wish I had a plane. Mm-hmm. Right? And so everybody is sometimes it's easy not to appreciate where you are and what you have. You know, one thing I love about what Paul said. Paul said that I've learned to be content in any situation. My mentor used to call it learn to be content but ambitious.
Count it all joy.
Count it all joy. That's good. Mm-hmm. So on that, and we're probably going to have to do a part 3.
I know we got another
on
one.
this.
We'll just do a part 3
because I really want to get through this material because I think it's important in reference to taking your relationship to the next level.
Absolutely. So our tablet for this week is to do something nice for your partner every day over the next week.
So next 7 days.
Next 7 days, find that small thing that will show appreciation, that whatever it is, whether it is greeting them every day when they come home, whether it's fixing their plate, where maybe that's something that they enjoy doing, but you don't always do it. Whatever it is, leaving a note under their pillow or fixing their lunch and sticking a note in there or something like that. Whatever it is to show appreciation. It doesn't have to be anything, spending money or whatever, but find some way every day to show appreciation to your partner over the next week. And I'm going to close out with I'll give the disclaimer again. So first off, anything you share and post in the comment sections is public, as this is a public forum, and it is couples coaching, not counseling or therapy. So I always like to give that disclaimer. And if you have a private matter that you would like for us to address with you, send an email to lifewithoutlimitscc@gmail.com. And remember to please share, post, subscribe, like, and comment this video and share with others. And we'll end with our motto there.
Yeah, motto.
Yes.
So
we empower the people that build the relationships.
Hey,
Good night, and thanks for watching.